Did you know that the Madden NFL games are rumored to be cursed? Is that even possible? Well, today we take a deep dive into the Madden conspiracy and why enough coincidences have happened to warrant a valid concern. Madden NFL is an American football series developed by Electronic Arts Tiburón, or EA Tiburón for EA Sports. You know the famous
EA Sports. It's in the game.
The name Madden comes from the Professional Football Hall of Famer John Earl Madden, who was an American football coach and sports commentator in the National Football League. Rest in peace to this legend, as he recently died on December 2021 at age 85. No cause of death has been released. The first game was released back in 1989 as John Madden Football for the Apple II, and then later re-releasing for the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, which was a huge success. The games drop each year and are usually in the top 10 best-selling video games of the year, with the franchise selling over 130 million copies since the first game. So what is the Madden Curse? Although the game was released in 1989, the Madden Curse, also known as the Madden Cover Jinx, was not a thing until 1998. As the game is based on the real-life Pro Football League, one player is selected each year to be on the cover of the Madden game, usually being a player with great stats, recognition, and potential. This is not just in the Madden games, but most major pro sports games like NBA and MLB, among others. The Madden Curse is based on those players on the cover and the injuries, poor performance, or strange things that occurred to them after appearing on that cover. It all started on September 1998 with Garrison Hearst at that time playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Garrison was actually the first athlete to show up on the cover of a Madden game, with this one being for Madden 99. Garrison joined the 49ers in 1997 and broke records in 1998 for yards in a single season and collective rushing yards. Garrison rushed for a career best 1,570 yards and 7 touchdowns and earned a game-winning touchdown in overtime as the 49ers faced the New York Jets during the first game of the 1998 season. Unfortunately, shortly after appearing in Madden 99, Garrison broke his ankle in the postseason versus the Atlanta Falcons, causing him to not be able to play until 2001. This would mark the beginning of the Madden Curse. The very next year and game, Madden NFL 2000 had two cover athletes, Barry Sanders and Dorsey Levens. If you don't remember Barry Sanders in the cover, it's because he was in the background while John Madden was in the front. And you can't miss John Madden. Or you may have seen the other cover with Dorsey Levens, and amazingly, both have a story that can also be considered a curse. Let's start with Barry Sanders, known as one of the greatest running backs of all time. Voted Pro Bowl every season that he played, and the first player to rush for over 1,500 yards in 4 consecutive seasons. In a shocking move that left Detroit fans devastated, Barry Sanders retired from the NFL shortly after being named the cover athlete of Madden. We then have Dorsey Levens, who played for the Green Bay Packers and helped them win the Vince Lombardi Trophy in Super Bowl 31 against the Patriots. Before the cover, he and the Packers appeared in back-to-back Super Bowls. Unfortunately, Levens injured his knee and the Packers missed the playoffs, and he was cut from the team in 2001. Speaking of 2001, the next cover athlete, Eddie George, was also not so lucky. Edward Nathan George Jr., currently the head coach for the Tennessee State Tigers, was a running back for 9 seasons. It seemed that the curse was broken until the playoffs had arrived. Eddie George bobbled a pass from quarterback Steve McNair, which led to Ray Lewis's interception. You can debate that it was the curse or Ray Lewis, voted the greatest linebacker of all time, but the interception led to a touchdown that ended the Tennessee Titans season. The following game, Madden 2002,
marked the first year that the Madden Curse was referenced strongly when speaking about the players' careers. Madden 2002 had Dante Culpepper as the cover athlete. Culpepper was named the starting quarterback for the Vikings and led the team to an 11-5 record and was selected to the Pro Bowl, ending up on the game cover mid-season. A few months after this, he suffered a knee injury playing against the Steelers and had to miss the entire rest of the season. He was never the same after. You can debate that the curse seems to be real at this point, so we will save you some time and continue. Marshall Faulk, cover athlete of Madden 2003, Super Bowl champion and multiple Offensive Player of the Year winner, was never the same after being on the cover. Michael Vick, cover athlete of Madden 2004, fractured his right fibula during a preseason game after appearing on the cover. Ray Lewis, Madden 2005, tore his right hamstring. Donovan McNabb, 2006, suffered a groin injury and was never the same. Sean Alexander, 2007, broken foot, fractured wrist, sprained knee, and sprained ankle. In Madden 2008, they had selected LaDainian Tomlinson, but a campaign was started by fans to persuade him to decline the offer, which he eventually did. Two athletes appear on different Madden 2008 covers instead: Vince Young and Luis Castillo. Surely, they could not both be affected, right? Wrong. Vince Young injured his quadricep, missed more than a few games just to return and injure himself again. Then he injured his knee on the next season. And Luis Castillo only played 10 games due to a knee injury as well. Is this story getting crazy yet? Let's continue. Brett Favre, whom was retired at the time, was chosen to be the cover athlete of Madden 2009, wearing his Green Bay Packers uniform, inspired by his retirement speech and his stats. Brett had chosen to come back to the NFL right after as a New York Jet, only to injure his shoulder and never be the same again. He retired again in 2011. Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu appear on Madden 2010, but Fitzgerald ended up beating the curse and setting several personal records throughout the season. Troy, however, sprained his MCL and injured his PCL. Madden 11 had Drew Brees, who had the worst season of his career right after the Madden cover, and his team, the New Orleans Saints, losing to the Seattle Seahawks, who at the time was the first team in the NFL history to make it to the playoffs with a losing record. Peyton Hillis, Madden 2012, suffered a hamstring injury and only played 10 games that season. 2013 was a good year, as Calvin Johnson, cover athlete of Madden 2013, had one of his best seasons and even breaking records. Was the Madden curse finally over? Nope. Madden's 2014's cover athlete, Adrian Peterson, suffered a foot injury and only played 14 games. Note: Barry Sanders also reappeared on the cover for the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game, but he was already retired. Madden 15's Richard Sherman had no issues that affected his team's season and was able to avoid the curse. I guess his cover photo says it all. Odell Beckham Jr., cover athlete of Madden 2016, was also not affected, having a great season. Rob Gronkowski, Madden 2017, unfortunately could not beat the curse, having suffered multiple injuries and could not even play when his team won the Super Bowl that year. Madden 2018 was no joke, as cover athlete Tom Brady publicly defied the Madden curse and won, having another one of his great seasons. Madden 2019 is a strange case. Cover athlete Antonio Brown actually had great stats and a great season, but had ironically developed frostbite. This is ironic because EA Sports game engine is called Frostbite, which Madden runs on. Coincidence? He was traded to the Oakland Raiders, who had made him the highest paid receiver at that time, but he never even got to play a regular season game due to off-the-field incidents. Brown also had issues with a helmet, as he preferred the Shut Air Advantage helmets that allowed him to see better, which he had played with his entire life. The problem was that these helmets had discontinued in 2014, forcing the NFL to use the new updated helmets and not allowing Brown to use the ones that he wanted. This is even crazier when you think about how he does not even have the helmet on the Madden cover. He's holding it as if to say he's holding onto the helmet he prefers, almost predicting the helmet issue. Madden 2020 had Patrick Mahomes on the cover and he dominated the season. Although fans believe the curse struck due to an early knee injury, he returned and helped his team win the Super Bowl. Madden 21's cover athlete Lamar Jackson did not get hit with any curse, even though his team, the Baltimore Ravens, did have several season-ending injuries for some players. Madden 22 had Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes, who had already beaten the Madden Curse before and obviously beat it again. This latest Madden 23 is special as it has John Madden on the cover. John Madden had passed recently and it was only right to have him be the cover figure. A curse is defined as a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Here's the thing, injuries are relatively common in American football due to the physical contact of the sport. Because of this, we can't necessarily say that a player is cursed just for appearing on the Madden cover. However, some of these cases were a bit too coincidental to where you can make that case if you do believe in that sort of thing. Bad things happen and so do good things. Does that mean that you are cursed or blessed? Not really. Sometimes it's just life. But what do you think? Have these stories on the cover athletes convinced you that the curse is real?
Now, I've heard there are some of you out there who might be worried about something called the Madden Curse. There's no such things as curses. It's a total myth, okay? I feel like you're not really getting it. See? All good. No curse. All good.
But please, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content and would like to see more here on Game Circle TV.